and say is, I'm on the fence. Anyway. Hello, everybody. I could do another one.
At least I got that one.
Thank you. Today I learned, considering it's actually May the 4th, today I learned what Yoda was short for. It's because he's got little legs.
New legs. Holy fuck punching. Oh.
What? Anyway, so, yes, hello everyone. Welcome to the underwhelming start of Black Dog V2, episode 52. I'm Lee. And I'm
Darren.
Oh, there he is.
I'm Jim. I'm Elton. There you go, really quick.
Nice. And this week we'll be seeing how everyone's week's been, presumably from the other side of the planet with some satellite distance. And then we will be doing any feedback if there's any there. And then we'll be moving on to this week's movie, which is Darren's choice, which is Darren?
Rocketman.
Yes, Rocketman. Which, ironically, is probably the only song that doesn't get used, isn't it?
No, it is used in there.
Does it? Oh, God, that would have been good, wouldn't it?
That's when he's at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, of course. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, cool. I'm going to apologise in advance. My brain is all over the place this week. So...
no excuses, man. No excuses.
We'll just push on. We'll start again. Why did Darth Vader say that he do when his car broke down 3 miles outside of town? Oh, the Empire hikes back. Anyway, right. So let's move on. I'm going to throw them all. I'm just going to keep going until one of you at least acknowledges it. Keep going. Right, there you go. Jim's done it. There you go. We can move on. So, let's find out how everyone's week's been, and we'll start this week with you, Elton. How's it been, sir?
Oh, it's been very good. Slowly going downhill until today ended up in shit.
Oh, okay. Why is that?
So, I'm just going to get the shit pit out of the way. And what has happened is we've moved into a new house. And we've had our first blockage.
Okay. Heavy, big curry, was it?
Man, if this was a curry, geez, I don't think I would be walking because I would have split myself.
Oh.
We knocked on the neighbours' doors and said, "Hi, yeah, we're backed up. Any chance you are as well?" And they went, "Yeah, we're starting to get backed up." Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. We daren't flush toilets at the moment.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it's all outside. It's all horrible. I don't want to look at it. It's disgusting. But we'll get it sorted. We got some people dealing with the water coming hopefully tomorrow. God, I hope they're coming tomorrow. If not, I don't know. We'll be peeing in buckets, I think.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there's... Okay. I have been just noodling around the house, just doing little bits, caulking certain parts of the house just to make it look a bit tidier, etc. And just slowly going through all that. It's looking all right at the moment. There's nice little bits coming on. And Amanda came home from work. She went, "There's something outside." And because it's been raining, I've noticed it. She went, "There's a puddle outside." I went, "Really?" So I go have a look outside. There's puddle and there's tissue in there. And you're like, oh, this is grim. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll get a hose and I'll try and push it through.
No. Back up.
I have to try it. I am built in a certain way that I have to try and dig these sort of things out. And it was an experiment to find out what was actually going on. So when I filled up the water bit where all the water went in, I could see it was bubbling. So something is getting in the way. It is flowing out very, very slowly, etc. And so I thought, I'll put some more water in it. And then the patio started leaking from a different area. I was like, oh, have we got cracked pipe? Fuck, I hope not. And so I lifted up the patio,
Yeah.
one of these slabs. Dead body said hello.
Yeah.
But I lifted up the patio.
Yeah.
And the people before us have covered over a manhole cover with a patio.
No.
What?
You stupid motherfuckers. So I've managed to get a couple of slabs up, lifted that up, and it's full to the brim. It is, you know when you make a cup of tea and it is right on the edge.
Is that why they moved? Oh, it's getting a bit full. We better fuck off.
Yeah, it's 20 years of shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's like carrying a cup of tea from the kitchen into the front room, trying not to spill it. It's brimming like that.
Is it like that bit in Dunkirk when like they fly over the flotilla of boats? You can just see all the little boats just running down across the sea.
I was thinking maybe, is it Waterworld? You know, where they open they're on the tanker, they open up, there's a little bloke in a boat. He's like, but in this case, instead of being like about 4 miles down, he's got his face almost pressed up against the actual door itself. Yes?
So,
Drop a match down there. Oh, thank God.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that, Elton.
yeah. So I decided, do you know what, I'm not going to do anything with that. I'm just going to leave that. So I put the manhole cover down. And we know there's another manhole cover further back. So we had a little look at that, lifted that up. That's not wet. That's dry.
Mm.
But the only reason it's dry is because imagine. Do you remember Play-Doh?
Oh no!
And like the hairy barber shop where you had like the Play-Doh.
No, not hair. Don't mention hair. No.
Where you had the men and you squeeze the Play-Doh through their head and oh look, he grows hair. Someone's done that somehow with something, and it's like it looks like a massive poo in the shape of a T, basically. So it comes out of our garden, goes into someone else's garden, and it's just there.
Mr. Pooty. I'm pity the fool.
So
I pity the poo.
does it look like the Sarlacc pit down there? You know? Just like a big old mass.
Well, I would take a photo of it, but I don't think anyone really wants to see what we've seen.
You could get banned from Facebook, mate.
Yeah,
if you do that.
That's a ban, isn't it?
I don't know. It depends if Zuckerberg's into that shit. He might be all right.
I'm the scat man. Yes. So we got a guy coming out hopefully tomorrow to I don't know, ram it through. I don't know. What do you do with that? You don't put it in a bag.
Coming with a really big roll of Andrex.
Yeah. You need like 10,000 gallons of Mr. Muscle. Just fire it down there like drain blocker or something.
My word.
Just I don't know, jet wash.
Jet wash, yeah. When I first started hosing, I didn't actually hose any. I was just hosing the floor, and it sprayed up on me. I am not doing it anywhere near
Jet
the
wash
brown
pressure.
stuff.
Go for it. No pain, no gain. It's a proper pressure blast. You know?
The goggles, they do nothing. No, I'm not going to be doing that, unfortunately.
God. Okay.
So well, tune in this time next week. Same bad channel, same bad time for an update on my poo.
Yeah. Well, notifications just my notes here just say Elton Poo-a-geddon.
Yep.
I think that's all we need to know, really.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Did it have a lolly stick in it?
There were
Any carrots or sweet corn? No?
Yeah.
Just fucking shit tons of sweet corn, man.
Oh well, there you go.
Oh.
I hope nobody's eating their sandwiches or having their breakfast while listening to this. I really do.
I do apologise.
I'll tell you what, that breakfast sausage has gone right off, hasn't it?
That's the last time I'm eating chocolate mousse just before I have to get onto this podcast, I tell you.
Yeah, I was going to say, that Nutella's got... No, it's going right back in the fridge, that is.
Wrap
that Snickers up.
It's full of nuts.
I'm just going to go switch off my chocolate fountain. Okay.
Euphemism.
Oh, dear.
Right.
So that was rock bottom this week. So
Or rock bottom. Nice. Wah, wah.
what else have I done? Okay, 2 things I've watched. Actually, 3 things I've watched, but we get on to the third one in a minute.
Yeah.
Endgame. Finally got around to seeing that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Did you watch Infinity War?
I've seen that. I've seen bits of all the others as well, but...
Oh, well, there we go then.
Oh, well, that's it,
fine.
yeah.
You're sorted.
Exactly. I know. I'm not digging
20
it.
years of cinematic, Marvel, yeah.
21 films.
Speed through
It's
it.
fine. There's probably some bits in there you might miss.
Yeah.
Go on.
Skip it, skip it, skip it, skip it, skip it, skip it, skip
Yeah.
it.
It just felt like it was, okay, we've written ourselves into a corner. How do we get out of this? Time travel. There we go. Sorted. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yeah, my life. I don't even know where to begin with that.
Did
I
you
know.
skip through Endgame as well?
It's
'Cause,
not
you know,
entirely wrong, though, is it? Is it
Well-
like Back to the Future? No. In fact, it's exactly like Back to the Future as it plays out. Well done, guys. Did someone read this fucking script?
Yeah. Yeah. The Back to the Future thing I get, absolutely. But I've got to admit that
I know. I've missed.
Jesus.
Oh, sorry. Was that
no,
me?
it's all right. No, I don't know. Someone's. No, it's Darren.
it's,
Let's blame Darren.
Doing whatever the fuck he's doing. He sounds like he's stuck his microphone down his pants. The thing with Endgame, right, is it's just pulling the triggers on 21 films and
I
loads
know,
of in jokes.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to tell you. Yes, it's time travel. Yes, it's hokey. But God, yeah.
I know it is your crescendo to you're the last 10, 15, 20 odd years of watching movies. That's cool, man. I've got no problems with it. I'm not having a go at it. I'm just having a bit of fun. That's all.
No. It's fine.
I'm kind of poking fun at myself because I'm not up to speed with absolutely everything. You know, I don't really like these sort of things, and I was watching it in 10 and 15 minute increments. So that really didn't help either. It's like, I've got 15 minutes. I'll sit down and watch a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all right. And then move on.
It's only 3 hours long. It's fine. We'll get through that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, obviously, ideal circumstances of watching that then, Elton. Well done.
Exactly.
So,
what else have I watched?
Watching it on a phone, I hope, as well, please.
I wish.
Did it properly.
That would be brilliant, wouldn't it?
in portrait.
through clean film.
Noise. Jeez.
Yeah.
What else? I started watching The Handmaid's Tale. I didn't realise there was a film made of this many, many moons ago.
Yeah.
And do you know what? This is really gripping me.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting this, but it's got, what's her name? Elizabeth Moss.
Yes.
And I think she's a very nice actress anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really enjoying this story. It's very dystopian and very dark and what's going on. And there's a narrator's voice as well, which adds a bit of tension to things. So I'm only 3 episodes in, but after the first episode, that was it. I was like, yeah, I want to know more.
Can I give you some advice, Owen?
Yes.
Don't go straight on to season 2. Give yourself a couple of weeks before you start, right? Because trust me, I did 2 seasons, literally burned through them.
Right.
And I don't know, I just did not feel good after I watched it. I mean, not that it was bad. No, it was very good. It was too good.
Yeah.
It got its point across, and it's like, Jesus fucking H Christ. What is there? You know, it's like, what is life? You know, it's just, it is. I think you have it. Get you just when you think you've seen bleak, right? Okay, it goes, hold my drink,
Really?
and then it just take. I'm not joking, mate. It just it keeps going down. It really does. It's such an affecting series.
Okay, cool. Because there's a season 3 coming soon as well, isn't it?
It's out.
Oh, is it now? Oh, okay, cool.
It's been and done. But yeah, Jesus H. It's horrifying. It is. It really is. All I can say, really. I can't really describe it in any other way. But it is. There's not really any. There's no real smiles in this at all. There may be a light moment coming up, but you will pay for
it. Nice.
Okay, so yeah, it is. It's
Enjoy
rough.
it while it lasts.
But you can't. Well, I mean, it's one of them sort of things. You know, when we see a film that's about a terrible thing, you can't. You feel bad about saying you enjoyed watching it because you think it's great television. You know, it's like it's well written, it's well acted. This is one of those things you really don't feel great about. I said, yeah, I really enjoyed watching that because it's like, oh, what does that say about me? What is it? Oh my word, no, because there's no happy smiles.
No,
really in this at all. Like I say, it's bleak.
Yeah, I haven't seen any comedy moments just yet, and I'm 3 episodes in, so I'm guessing there's not going to be many.
You're on the slide down. You really are.
Okay. Well,
cool. Looking forward to that.
Yep.
Okay, cool. What else have I watched? Oh, I'll pop to the pub for the very first time on, when was that? Sunday. It was my birthday on Sunday. So
yes, happy birthday, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. Jim.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're going to wish me happy birthday then, eh? Are you? Eh? You know. Yeah, just a little thing. Are you going to do it? Are you?
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, I ended up on dog walks for most of that day, and we walked past the pub, so we tried it. We were miles away from anyone else, and it was nice and safe, so felt comfortable. So that was nice. That was a nice little dipping my toe into normality once again. But the highlight, and we spoke about this after the show last week.
Yeah,
the highlight of what's been going on, daytime TV. and may I point out, not just all daytime TV, crappy daytime TV.
It's all crap.
Which gets tooked. People are throwing stuff into the skip, and someone in the BBC goes, "Hang on, stop! I can make money from this, and I will give you the money after this." And it's a show called Money for Nothing, and it's so fucking annoying.
Sticks and flowers on it.
So fucking annoying. I mentioned this a little while ago. I think it was on Twitter, but I also mentioned this to you guys. So apologies if I'm going over stuff again.
No,
but
fine.
the bit that got me was this woman saved this case, this suitcase. It's a big, more like a trunk. And she saved it, and she was cleaning it up. And she went, "I need to clean these metal bits up." Okay, fine. That's brilliant. I've got no problems with that sentence. She went, "What I need is a scouring pad, like the metal scouring pad, like wire wall type thing, and water." And I went, "That's not how you get rid of rust. That's how you put more rust on there." And there she was, just, oh, it looks very clean, doesn't it? Oh, look at that. Oh, lovely, lovely. And there I was, just eating my sofa, going, God's sake. And then they lined it with wallpaper.
Oh.
And then they told us they sold it for £300.
Bullshit, did they?
And now I'm addicted to this program because they fucking paint everything.
Flowers, don't forget enamel paint flowers. That'll get you around everything, that will.
Flowers everywhere. If you're on the other side of the road, it looks okay. I wouldn't buy it, but it looks okay. It's one of them paintings where you get up close, you're like, what the fuck have you done? Does someone spill acid on this? Have you had a battery leaning on this at all? Oh, it's terrible, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely terrible. But it's like cocaine. It's so addictive.
yeah. I watched. I said this after the podcast last week, but just for everyone on air. But it's just like I saw one where the lady, is it Mary her name or something, isn't it? I can't remember her name now.
I don't know.
She took a canoe off of someone, a fiberglass canoe off of someone, sawed it in half and turned it into an armchair, and apparently sold it for like 500 quid. And you're looking at it, you're thinking, it looks like one of Alibaba's slippers stuck on its end with a cushion at the bottom of it. You're thinking, who the fuck bought that for 500 quid? I'll tell you who. No one bought that for 500 quid. Yeah. Ever.
Homer, you've ruined a perfectly good jacket. Wrong, Marge. 2 perfectly good jackets.
It was a red fiberglass canoe. And it's just like, what on earth is this shit? It's just like, it's a miracle of turning shit into more shit and then trying to convince idiots that they've sold this stuff to real people for real money. It's like,
I swear they've got their fingers crossed as they're saying, yes, we sold this for £400. Here's your money. Like, oh, really? Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Meanwhile, down the skip, there's another bloke going, if I pay you 50 quid, don't ever tell anyone we were here. And there's a fucking canoe with a cushion stuck out of it. Stuck in the middle of a pile of junk. Oh, it's a big pile of shit.
Oh, wouldn't that be great if she went down to the skip and found the shit that they were throwing away and went, well, hang on, this looks terrible. I can sort this out for you. And the cycle begins again.
Yeah, I think she's deluded. I think she thinks that it's actually selling. I think the producers are just going, it's cheap telly. We've got 100 quid in the bin. Let's just pay that 100 quid to the person we've nicked. I don't know. What was the other one they did? It was something like a tea tray or something. She sold a tea tray which was enamelled, and she painted flowers all over it, and then sold it off as a TV aerial or something. I don't fucking know. But it was like, there is no way anyone is going to buy this crap. And it's like, yeah, well, we made a TV show for like 50 quid, and we've still got £100 in the bin. Let's just throw it to the person, and say, oh look, we sold it for £100. Oh, that's amazing! You must have done so much fantastic work. It's just like a fucking tea tray on the pile next to the canoe.
One of the recent ones I saw, and accidentally started recording them.
Accidentally started recording.
Accidentally, yeah. Somehow there's like a series link, and I don't know. But one of them that I saw is they had this table and chairs, and they went, "Oh, we'll rescue that from the. Thank you very much." And it was, do you know what? If you sanded it down and given it a new coat of varnish, maybe even like a stain, and coloured it in linseed oil, or maybe even burnt it a little bit, it would look great. What they did, they cut all the nice, big, thick table legs, and they put these like real wiry pinstripe legs on it. And then they said, "Well, we tried to sell it, we couldn't sell it, so we sold the chairs to someone, we sold the tabletop to someone, and we sold the table legs to someone. So here's your money." I was like, "Hang on." So nobody would all buy that.
Nobody would buy it on their own. No.
Yeah, and they were like, "That's a load of shit, but I'll have the legs, thank you very much."
yeah. And somewhere in the background there's a bonfire going up.
Yeah, there's a bloke going, "Well, we've got a tabletop now, haven't we? And all these chairs. What the hell do we do with these?"
Yeah, I'll turn it into a sled. I can combine it with this canoe.
Yes.
Oh, God. Oh, money for nothing. What a pile of daytime shit that is.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. I apologise. I've gone far too long. I apologise. So
No,
week.
it's fine.
That's fine, man.
That's good. Right. Okay. Well, that's brilliant. So, Jim, over to you, sir.
A bit of a mixed bag again. All my weeks are mixed bag at the minute. I'm just bloody trying to juggle everything else to do and renovate a house, and I'm slowly insane. I'm still fighting with power companies.
Oh God, is that still going on?
Yeah,
Oh, God.
I mean, we've paid 2 months to Bulb, who are supplying our electricity, who are clean, green, and cheap. Yeah, Empower keeps sending me bills
God.
for the house. I open them up, and each one is a different figure they've pulled out the air. Literally, estimated bills. The first one was 800 quid.
Yep.
I opened them. The next one, it went to 600, 400. I've got one for 120 now. It's still kind of like, what part of, this house was empty, all the electrics were turned off.
Yeah.
And any electricity I've used while renovating, I've paid to Bulb. Why can't you fuck off and get through your heads? I don't understand what the problem is.
Well,
Clearly, someone's having a laugh because they keep pulling these figures out of the air. You know what I mean? Go, he didn't pay that one. Should we try another one? Go on then.
Well,
lower.
You know what, Jim? You've only got to watch at this rate. You keep going for another couple of weeks, and they'll end up owing you.
Well, probably, yeah.
It's going down and down. Yeah.
Well, it's like just fuck off. I mean, I know how these work. You know what I mean? Because British Gas were pulling the same stunt, but once Bulb got in touch with them, they said okay, and I got a bill, just the standing charges. Energy cost 0. That's right. Fine. Good. Done. But Empower can't seem to grasp that. No. Wankers. But my last experience about 15 years ago, they fucking completely screwed up my bills, despite me personally sending them meter readings. They still estimated the bills for months and months, despite me sending them. And it's kind of like, are chimps in charge of this? I mean, what the fuck is going on in there? Honestly.
Nice. And that's Empower, is it?
That's Empower, yeah.
And
I could recommend Bulb. I mean, Bulb actually put our bills down.
Nice. Well, that's good.
Because they actually keep a track of how much you've used and say, actually, you're paying too much. You're getting too much in credit. We'll lower your monthly thing.
Nice.
And they just do it like that. And if the prices come down, the prices of the bill comes down.
Nice. There you go.
Really good. And if he wants to join Bulb, drop me a message. I can send you a code. If you hook up with them, you can get a 50 quid free on your account.
No, all right. There you go. Nice.
There we go.
Little sponsorship deal going on there.
Well, they're very good like that, It's kind of how to get grassroots recommendation. I do recommend them because they do also use green power wherever possible, which is good. And it's just all easy, no bollocks. Like the other monolithic companies, like, Jesus, right. Why can't you understand the damn thing I've told you? What's so hard to understand? There's nobody living in the house. TV license is still saying, we're going to investigate you. Oh, fucking knock yourselves out. Crack on, lad.
Yeah. How's that Ouija board coming along? Good?
Yeah. Come on. Come around and show you around, show all the non-tellies in this empty fucking house. Jesus. I filled in the thing to say that the house is vacant ages ago, but you're not listening, are you? Fuck me.
Well, there you go. Anything else, sir? Anything else been going on?
Well, in better news, I've mastered making a rather nice tea loaf in my baking efforts.
Oh, nice.
Which I was enjoying. And still enjoying working our way through the Jeremy Brett big box of Sherlock Holmes.
Nice.
Which is like a lovely big warm televisual hug. And also every episode is a game of, oh, isn't that so-and-so from, oh, look. Brought the guest stars.
Yeah.
Which has been fantastic.
Yeah, then it turns into that sort of family game of, oh, that was the one who was married to who was married to that, and then she was going out with that bloke. You remember? And that goes on and on and on. You don't hear a bloody word of the fucking show. Yeah, I remember those things. Yeah, yeah, cool, nice.
But other than that, I actually enjoyed the bank holiday. Bank
Nice.
holidays for self-employed people are often another Sunday now they want no need.
Yes.
But since I got to go to Teresa, who has a proper job, not doing the nonsense I do, days off actually means something, which is nice. And I was going to go work on the house, and I thought, you know what, fuck it. I really fancy a second Sunday.
That's good.
We were going to go somewhere, but it pissed it down. But I quite happily for ages I've given going to have a look to see if someone's done a port of Diablo onto like a mobile platform.
Ooh.
So I just thought that'd be great to play on the tablet, and apparently there is one in the works now. It's into alpha testing.
There is?
Yeah. Yes, at long last.
Right.
But this inspired me kind of, I'm going to fire up the old one. So dusted off the copy, got it to work no problem, actually.
Nice.
And so I spent most of Monday just reliving point, click, hack, / kill. And very good it was too. It's a game that's aged very well.
Yeah.
It still looks pretty good, and it's still just kind of, we just perfect just to sit back and just click and kill things and catch up with a few podcasts along the way as well.
Oh, that's
just
good.
Have a proper second Sunday, and then cook some roast beef. So yes, that was good.
Oh, nice. Oh, that sounds like a dream.
Yeah, that was great. That was great. Actually, doing nothing constructive whatsoever on Monday. That was fantastic. First time in a long time. I recommend it to everybody.
Excellent. I'll take that up next time I get a chance.
Definitely.
Cool. Okie dokie. Oh, anything else?
And I'll leave that there.
You'll leave it there.
On that positive. Diablo is available on Good Old Games for a very reasonable price with the expansion Hellfire that adds different classes.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Lovely. Good old games. Nice. Cool. Well, then we'll move on to you then, Mr. Barnard. How's your week been, sir?
My week this week. I'll start with the fun stuff. I thought we'd do something a little bit spontaneous yesterday because it was a bank holiday. It's like, well, let's get out and let's do something,
Mm-hmm.
And I happened to come across something on Twitter. Actually, it was a review of a drive-in cinema. So I thought we'll do that. Apparently, there is a thing called the Drive-In Movie Club, and they operate every day and they show at least 2 films a day. It's a Sandown Racecourse they do this in.
Right.
So yesterday they had a special charity showing of Jurassic Park. So seeing as this is like Ree's favourite all-time film, it was like, oh, this is fate. We'll go and have a watch of this.
Nice.
So for 15 quid for the lot of us, paid that, went in, got our position. They gave us this quite powerful fucking wireless speaker to put in the car, which had beautiful sound quality. So ramped that up a bit, and we sat there watching Jurassic Park on a big screen, and it almost got rainy. And I thought, all we need to do now is when the T-Rex comes along, we just get the torches out in the car, and just do the same thing, and then tell someone to put the fucking torch away because
Malcolm freeze.
Yes. So yeah, really, really good. Really enjoyed it.
Nice.
What I would say though is just be wary of the roof of your car, as in like how low it is, how far it comes down the windscreen, because the people in the back seat won't really be able to see anything unless they fold themselves up like a concertina or wedge themselves into a corner so they can see out the front. So I had to do that at one point, but I did find a good position to sort of sit in, and I saw most of the screen from there. And it was good. Yeah, they even, because it's the whole COVID restriction thing, they give you a little instruction sheet where you can just text someone what food you want, because they had this company called Pop Dogs who do plant-based hot dogs. Didn't know they were plant-based to begin with. It wouldn't really have told you, been able to tell anyway.
Right.
They were lovely.
Which particular plant being called pot dogs were they based on?
I have no idea. No idea.
Pot dogs?
Pop dogs, yeah.
Hang on. Yeah. Did you have to light them at one end? I don't think they're...
No, they're not that kind of dogs. But no, the food was lovely. They even had you could order sweets and drink and everything. So I did, and somebody brought them along in a little bag for us. Handed them over. super.
And now you got Corona.
Yeah, now I've got Corona.
Yeah.
And a big bag of weed.
And a big bag of weed,
dogs.
yes. So, if anybody gets the chance, drive-in movie club, highly recommend it. They're very, very good. They've got, they show you to where they bring you into the position where your car should be and everything like that. And then they sort your car out for a number as well. And you just order when you're ordering food, you put the number in there and then, people know your location. So it's a good day out. We're going to go again at some point. I think on that evening, had we chosen to go back, we could have watched Guardians of the Galaxy there as well. And it would have been at night time. So the actual view of the screen would have been even better.
Yeah. So you could have gone and watched Endgame in like 15-minute bursts or anything.
Could have done. Yeah. Could have done,
Who would do that?
What monster would do that?
Who would?
Anyway. Yeah.
So there was that. So that was good. Really enjoyed that day out. And now, secondly, I've taken to start to read graphic novels again. So I've seen sort of like some new ones that I've taken me interest. And this week, I sat and read what is the part of the source material for the new Thor movie that's coming out, Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh right.
It's called the God Butcher, right?
Okay.
I've got to say, I don't know where Taika Waititi's going to get the comedy from this, because this is basically Thor tracking a serial killer.
Right.
Right. And there's really not any laughs to be had in this one. Basically what happens is it takes through 3 periods of Thor's life. It shows him when he first started out, before he got the hammer, and he had this big axe, and he was just going around sort of like, pillaging villages with other warriors and, from like Earth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's also the modern day where he's just like, Thor as he is now. And then it's also taking bits from when he is, he's taken the place of Odin. He's like really quite old, but still quite powerful.
Right.
And what it starts off with, he's on a raid with these warriors, and somebody notices as they're going through this, as they're going towards the enemy, or where the village is, they hit this bank of fog, and one of the warriors says, "I think I've just seen something in the fog, Thor. I'm not sure what it is, but there's something there. I think it's a man." And Thor's like, "Don't worry, I've got Odin sense. I can spot this thing. You're with me.
Yep.
You've got nothing to worry about at all." And then they find what was in the water, and it's a head.
Yeah.
And it's got a look of terror on its face. And then Thor realizes that it's an actual god.
Right.
And it seems gods have been disappearing for thousands of years, and nobody's spotted this. No other god has taken notice of it, because they're also kind of arrogant and into their own worlds, that nobody's noticing that deities are being offed. But they're not just being offed, they're not just being killed, they're being tortured.
Right.
In the worst possible way. Right?
Right.
Now, if that's not bad enough,
right,
Thor goes to track this guy that he hears this guy's called the God Butcher, right?
Yeah.
This guy called Gore. He gets wind of it. And he does battle him, and they have this massive set to, and they kind of get separated. So he loses track of this guy.
Yeah.
When he was younger, right?
Right.
And it jumps to him when he's in his current phase. And he's realised that he should have done something about this when he was younger to stop this bloke, because he's been to this Hall of Records and he's seen the amount of gods that have disappeared.
Right.
And they're in the thousands.
Right.
So it's like, this is all my fault. I should have done something about this at the time. So he goes to try to really, really search for this person. And he tracks him down to this cave. Or he thinks he's tracked him down. And he finds in there, not the God Butcher, but he finds another god hiding in the cave. Right. And he said, you said you might want to not search for him. You might want to just go somewhere where he can't find you, but it doesn't matter, because he'll track you down in the end. He'll find you and he'll kill you. And he goes, I know gods are beautiful because I've seen the insides of all the gods that are in my pantheon. And you realise that this guy's got hold of every god in this bloke's group. He's made him watch as he's tortured every single one of them. And the way he did that was he cut off his eyelids. So he couldn't even shut his eyes.
Oh, my word. Right.
And this is only about a third of the way through the story. So I'm now, I'm like, I've got to read the rest of this to find out how this goes. But I can't see how you can use that for doing something like Thor, to go from Thor Ragnarok. And if you look at the actual publicity for, some of the stuff they've been doing for Love and Thunder, it looks like they're doing the same sort of thing they did with Ragnarok. But I'm reading this and I'm looking at the publicity and I'm thinking these two things don't match up.
Yeah. Well, I think you got to just take it on faith that they're working it out, because I can't see them doing guys getting their eyelids cut off.
Exactly. But it's like, well, are you going to do the story justice? That's the thing. It's going to be really interesting to see. And you're sure this is the thing that they're doing? Yeah, the God Butcher. Yeah, because Christian Bale is in the new, and he's playing the God Butcher. He's playing Gore, the God Butcher. Okay. And he's already. They've had pictures of him with he's had his head shaved and everything. He's going to have sort of like major prosthetics, of course, but yeah, it's that. Taika Waititi's actually said we're doing it from this. We're doing part of it based on this here because we've got gore in it. So I do have a theory. I do have a theory about this. I might discuss it with you afterwards because... Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably not worth spoiling anything here, is it, really? No. So, yeah. So far, I would not have equated something like this with Thor, a Thor story. This is like a fucking, like I say, it's like a serial killer story, this. Okay, well, I guess we'll find out, won't we? Well, we got 2 years yet, apparently. 2022. Yeah, maybe I'll forget actually it. A year, actually. Maybe I'll forget the story, go to sit there like, oh no. Yeah. Oh, what have I done? Has he mentioned eyelids yet? Yeah. Oh my Lord. Yeah. Okay. Right. So there we go. So, yeah, just that. Just that. Okay. That it? Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Cool. Mate. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Okay. Well, then my week's been, I think it's safe to say, what could be called a mixed bag. A very mixed bag. Yeah. I'll get the rough bit out of the way. My dad went into hospital on Thursday night Friday morning at 2 a.m, which was not good. I'll spare everyone the gory details on what's going on, but suffice to say, thank you to everyone who sent best wishes over Facebook and Twitter and whatnot, because God damn it, it's been a rough couple of days on that front. So we'll leave that there. But thank you, everyone. It's appreciated. What else? I've changing the subject entirely. I finished watching Invincible season 1. Got to the end of that. What did you think? Have you seen the end? No, I haven't yet. No. Okay, the final episode makes up for the issue I had in the episode before. I'll say that. Oh, okay. Yeah, there was a thing that went on in episode 7, and I was just like, oh, fuck off. And I started to see how the sausage was made, and I was seeing the format, so to speak. And I was just like, oh, I can't be doing this anymore. It's just a bit formulaic. But the last episode puts that all to bed, sorts it all out, and puts yourself in a better position. So I thought, well, fair enough. I was unduly harsh last week, so it concluded the season nicely. So I'll give it that. Okay. Yeah, not brilliant, but it certainly left me thinking I need to see the next one, definitely the next season when it comes up. And then the only other thing I've got
is I saw The Mitchells versus the Machines, which is a new thing that literally appeared on Netflix this week.
Yeah, didn't it?
I've got to say, it's fucking great.
Yeah?
It is. Right, okay. I'll give you this. Basically, the writers are the same group who did the cartoon Gravity Falls, and the rest of the team worked on things like Lego Batman, and it's also produced by Lord and Miller, who did Into the Spider-Verse, Lego Movie, 22 Jump Street. So you can see the sort of sense of humour you're getting right from the off.
Yeah.
And it's out there. It's slightly crazy, but anything that gives you a Lovecraftian Furby and a robot overlord, which is basically a mobile phone, which doesn't feel loved because people keep poking it in the face, I think you already know where you're on. The story is basically there's a daughter who's going to college, and she loves movies and she's making movies. And she wants to go to movie college, and she wants to break away from her parents. She wants to strike out on her own, do that sort of thing. And her dad sort of is feeling sort of like more and more distant from her. And then what happens is that this tech billionaire genius guy gives AI to this mobile phone, and the mobile phone decides that it's not been loved enough, and it's being superseded by some robot automatons that, the guy's about to launch, and takes them over, and then takes over the Earth. And so the family have to go on a road trip. While they're on the road trip, have to go on the road trip and essentially sort the problem out. That's probably the best, easiest way of saying it. The thing that carries it is the humour. There's a dog which is like this pug which looks vaguely like Winston, to be honest, our logo. And he acts in a very similar way. It's kind of like, it's completely and utterly, it's an inert blob with eyes, essentially. There's the brother, the younger brother, who is dinosaur obsessed, and there's one sequence at the beginning of the film where he's just literally going through the phone book, phoning the next person up, going, "Hello, would you like to talk about dinosaurs?" And he goes, "No, okay then." Click, scritches it out on the yellow pages, picks up the next number. "Hello, would you like to talk about dinosaurs?" "No, okay, fine." And he's working his way through. The mum's like trying to keep the peace all the time, and the dad's like constant outdoorsman sort of thing, but it's got all sorts of interesting gags, like sort of like, "This is our last day in this house as a family, so I want you all to put your phones down, and we're going to have 10 seconds of eye contact, family eye contact." And the scene around the table of all of them kind of going sort of like with their hands away from the phones, and that's the kind of more low end of the spectrum with the gags. But the stuff which goes really crazy, I can't really say because it'll spoil it. But there's a sort of logic error. There's one bit with the dad trying to use YouTube, which is a kind of, reminds you very much of Mark Heap from Spaced. When he talks about his art, and he goes, "It's got pain, fear, joy," sort of thing. And it's just a scene with him trying to use YouTube, and it's just like a sequence of this guy completely freaking out, going, "Why is it asking me for these buttons? Ah!" And then there's like and it cuts immediately, and it's all quiet, and it's just this big dark room, and he's like in the corner hugging himself. And 5 seconds later, he's screaming at the screen, going, "Why do these people keep taking photographs of cats?" Ah! Sort of thing. It's crazy. It's out there. It's weird. It's good for kids. But I tell you what, like I say, the minute you see the Furby, this Furby coming in, going, "The dark harvest will begin," you're in
out on the trailer. Actually,
it's a very strange film, and I loved it. I loved every moment of it. I needed a distraction, and this one provided it in spades. And like I say, I won't spoil the big gags, but there are some absolute crackers in there that actually had me proper guffaw. I can't say I've guffawed lots. You laugh, you kind of go,
yeah.
But like to actually just catch you unawares and make you actually properly laugh. There's not many films that do that, and this did this at least twice. So, yeah, definitely worth the time of day for sure.
I'll give that a go.
Yeah, so check that out. It's called The Mitchells versus the Machines. And that's it for my week. Yeah, like I say, there's nothing else I can really say too much about it. Yeah, anyway, so we are going to have a look-see about feedback. Let's have a look on the feedback. Oh, I will say also that people are still adding stuff to the Black Dog playlist, the YouTube playlist, which is on facebook.com/groups/Black Dog Podcast, and I'm going to start updating that playlist on YouTube. If anybody wants to listen to it, it's on YouTube under the channel, youtube.com/channel/Black Dog Podcast. Look for the playlist. And here we go. Let's have a look. Last week we did Nightcrawler, and there wasn't an awful lot of feedback, to be honest. The only piece of feedback we did get, which was the belly stapler, Michael Kent Cornett, who was following up on that feedback about the movie Gaslight. He supplied us with an actual link to the movie, which is on YouTube, the movie Gaslight. And said that, the following: there was never a film called Gaslight. Ha ha! You see, gaslighting you. And he said, but seriously though, there are actually two movies called Gaslight. One was made in the UK in the 1940s. The other was in Hollywood in 1944, and MGM tried to destroy all copies of the 1941, so nobody could compare them. So, gaslighting, huh? But anyway, it happened. He says, but I happen to prefer the 1940 version, which can be found on YouTube, and it supplies us with a link. So, if anyone is interested in the derivation of gaslight and gaslighting, then the movie that actually kicked it all off, the belly stapler has supplied it there on the Facebook group, and it's right there, the YouTube link. If anyone wants to search for it, it's called Gaslight full movie great quality 720p. I'm sure there's some copyright issues there, but I'm not going to worry about that. Anyway, so that was it really. There was no feedback on Nightcrawler, to be honest. I think a lot of people were bleaked out by the whole thing. But if anybody has any feedback for any episodes, whether it be this one, Nightcrawler, or anything like that, just head on over to the Facebook group, leave a message there, which is facebook.com/group/BlackDogPodcast, or you can email us, which is feedback@BlackDogPodcast, or you can catch us on Twitter, which is Guess Black Dog Podcast. There you go. It's everywhere. Just look for that bloody name. We're there. And so, that's that. That's our week and our feedback. And we shall move on to this week's movie. I was actually going to do an Elton John pun, but I just didn't get round to it, which is a shame because it's a little bit funny.
I see it's nearly 5 o'clock. I'm here at home, my work's all done. No question where I'll be tonight, a place of cinematic fun. It's the lockdown, but I will not pout. Oh, my friends, I won't be seeing this out alone. There's Lee and Elton and Jim and Darren, all sitting far apart for social distance. We're at the shut-in cinema, down in the bunker of shun. Down in the bunker of shun. Hey, fellas, it's been nearly 5 years. You gonna let me out now or what?
Right, so Rocketman is the 2019 biographical musical film based on the life and music of British musician Elton John. Directed by Dexter Fletcher and written by Lee Hall, it stars Taron Egerton as Elton John, Jamie Bell as Bernie Taupin, and Richard Madden as John Reid, Bryce Dallas Howard, with the most surprising British accent I've ever heard in my life, as Sheila Eileen, John's mother. And the film follows John in his early days in England as a prodigy at the Royal Academy of Music, through to his partnership with Taupin, and later, onwards into success. The film is titled after his 1972 song Rocketman, in case you didn't know. Thanks, Wiki.
Really?
Yeah, who knew?
Who knew?
Yeah, exactly. The film had a budget of $40 million, and how much do you think it made, Darren?
Oh, I think it made around about 120 million.
Okie dokie. Jim?
It made the world's biggest headdress.
Cool. Elton, what did it make?
I was going to go for 120 as well.
It actually made 195.
Wow.
195 million quid. Not bad at all. Interestingly, just as a little thing I've just noticed by looking at the credits, this was made by Marv Studios, which is, the guy who, Matthew Vaughn, who also did the Kingsman movies, which, if you remember Kingsman 2, happened to have Elton John and Taron Egerton in it.
It did?
It did.
I've seen
Kingsman
bits
2.
of the first one, not the second.
Have you not seen Kingsman 2, Dal?
No, I haven't.
Ah, okay. Well, that's maybe one for a list. Anyway, so there you go. Golden Circle. That's just worth bearing in mind. Elton John. Anyway, so just around the table then. Let's do the round table thingy. See how it goes. Darren, this was your pick, so you go last. Yeah. But we'll go around the table, see what everyone thought before we get into a chat about it. So let's start with you, Jim. What do you think of it?
I really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
I think it was very interesting to come to it. I'd not seen it before, but said it after our biopic season and doing the Queen movie.
Yeah.
And I really liked the sort of quasi musical approach it took. And I thought that kind of worked. It worked a lot better than trying to. I think where the Queen one fell down was kind of, we're doing kind of like a dramatized documentary of Freddie's life. And it's all true, apart from the bits we made up.
Yeah.
Which was most of it.
Yeah.
Yes. Whereas this, I think, taking that sort of musical approach, it puts you on a different footing from the word go. And it's not so much like, a biography. It's the story of Elton John.
Yeah, gotcha.
And that's fine because you're not getting reality. I mean, I've been meaning to go and to check up and find out what was wrong, but the thing is, it was about kind of themes and relationships rather than a fixed timeline, as it were.
Yeah,
and I thought it was just fantastically done and just very, very, just on a cinematic point of view, very inventive.
Yeah, very much so. Cool. Okay then, Elton, what about you, sir?
What did I think? Once again, it was weird hearing my name lots and lots of times. It's weird.
Yeah.
This is how common people feel, isn't it?
Common people. Look at you.
No, it's I thought it was really bloody good. Really, really good. I watched it, when was it? End of last year on DVD. And we have the DVD, and this is the second time of me watching it, but I think it is better than Bohemian Rhapsody in that it's more energetic. I find it more energetic anyway. And I think his portrayal of Elton John is better than...
It's not an impersonation, is it? I think that's
No.
the thing.
No, it's an embodiment.
A good word, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's cool. That's cool. So overall, though, you dug it, so...
Yeah, I think it's great.
Cool. Okay, for me, this is the first time I'm watching it, so I'm in the same sort of boat as Jim. I must admit, I was kind of expecting it to go for a musical sort of leaning, based on some of the things I've seen in the trailer. But I don't think I was prepared for it to do it quite the way it did it, if you know what I mean. It sort of kicked off, and I'm like, we're not just doing a standard musical. We're doing proper La La Land, Grease style Fantasia stuff. And once I tuned into it, and I think it really, for me, I finally tuned into it properly on the Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting sequence.
Oh, it's great.
Which in the pub,
so good.
Which was so good. And soon as that happened, and it's sort of like it does that whole, well, you know what, fuck it, we're not going to bother with all the bits in between his life. We're just going to go straight from, teenager in the pub to here we go. And it was just like, with a nice big sort of song and dance fucking routine in the middle of a circus or a fun fair. I was just like, okay, fine. You know what? I've got to throw my critical hat out the window because this has just suddenly gone from serious biopic to, you know what? We're just going to have some fun with this. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, initially I was a bit like, what the fuck am I watching? And then, like I say, about 20 minutes in, I was like, okay, bought, sold, done. Thank you very much indeed. So big thumbs up for me, I think. So what about you, Dal? I mean, obviously you picked it, so we can pretty much guess. But, what did you think?
I love this film. I think it's a better biopic than Bohemian Rhapsody. It's a better film. And just because it wears its heart on its sleeve for more than thing. It's not pretending to be an accurate historical document at all, because you have the whole musical parts in between, like especially like that bit where you've got Elton John and the guy he was kind of having the on-off relationship with, when they do that whole musical part of them going to dinner and stuff like this and just going out on the town and having a good time. But even from the get-go, when you see him march into the sort of AA meeting, and then when they asked him about his past, and it suddenly he sees himself standing there as a little boy.
Yeah.
You know, and then it goes into the musical number there, and he's like, oh, I'm not sure I'm ready for this. Am I ready to reveal all of this? Yeah, it's going there. I'm spilling it to everyone.
Yeah.
And it has possibly one of my favourite lines in any film in this.
Yeah.
And it's, I've been a cunt since 1975. I just forgot to stop. And it's just, to me, that says, now this is an honest film. It's just like Elton John could have turned around and said, no, you got to paint me to be this, that, and the other. And it's just like, no, just, I know I was a cunt. I know I'm difficult. And I'm not going to pretend to be anything else. This is it. This is, accept me, warts and all. Ba-boom.
Yeah. I think that's the most surprising thing. But, I mean, okay, so let's. I mean, I think generally thumbs up all round, isn't it? So
yeah.
I mean, obviously, as Jim, as you rightly pointed out, we've done more than a few biopics in this last sort of 4 months, 5 months now. I didn't realise. Yeah, it's May. Fucking hell, 5 months, and probably more than we've done in the last 11 years of Black Dog. But the one thing I was going to say was, how do you feel about these musical biopics? Because now, what with Straight Out of Compton, this Bohemian Rhapsody, didn't we do another one? I can't remember if we did another one, but musical biopics always seem to follow the same routine. Kid starts at the bottom, works his way up, gets a break. The manager's a fucker, takes him for every bit of money he can have, fucks everyone over. They break up, then they get back together again. Finale. And this one obviously, was musicaling it up. But did you feel that was a bit stale? I mean, especially because not just Bohemian Rhapsody comparisons, but the NWA one, Straight Outta Compton, did it. I'm just wondering how you guys feel about that thing. Is that just a bit too generic?
I think it depends on how they play. It's more the reaction of the main protagonist or protagonists to that situation and seeing how they handled it. What was their reaction to this? I mean, with Elton John, it got to a point where he was almost, he was it's either carry on and die or pull yourself up by your fucking bootstrings, admit stuff to yourself and move on and become better for it. And I mean, we did kind of see that in Bohemian Rhapsody. I suppose it is, this is what life in that kind of business is like. You're mixing with human beings, and unfortunately there are a lot of human beings out there who are just out for themselves. They're just self-serving cunts. So, and in the music business, you've got more than your fair share of that. In the entertainment business in general, you always have somebody who's trying to make a buck out of someone else's talent.
Yep.
To me, it's just, I mean, like I say, it didn't get tired. I know this has been seen before, but it's the way it was played.
Yeah.
And the outcome of it, and his just quite frank admissions to himself as to what the problem was.
Yeah.
Or problems were, and that whole thing of letting bad individuals in your life go or forgiving them.
Yeah.
As he said,
Yeah.
Okay. I think you could kind of put that template onto most rock stars or bands or anything like that. There's going to be the odd one, The Kurt Cobain one is not going to end up happy, is it? It's not going to be like a joyful thing at the very end where they're triumphant. But this, it is the way that you really do, the angle that you go for, and the actual time period that you're going for as well. Like Bohemian Rhapsody, that ended up at their biggest gig that they didn't know it was going to be, but it was their most triumphant moment in history. They're at their peak of their power, whereas Elton John really had he's ebbed and flowed throughout the years, hasn't he? He's mixed with other artists as well. He's had his highs, and he's had his crushing, real bad early 80s lows, and then come back again and reinvented himself. And so you could really pick that cookie cutter thing of being triumphant would fit into many aspects of his life.
Yeah.
So it's kind of given that it's going to be like that. But I think what we got here it was colourful. It was fun. It was enjoyable. The lows were tragically low, but you could still sing along with it at the same time.
Yeah.
It wasn't so morbid that it was like, oh my God, this is really Oscar-worthy performance, is it? Whereas, but then again, I think Taron
Egerton,
personally, he put a bit of a better performance in than I forget his name.
Rami Malek.
Yes, who did. He was doing more of a documentary impersonation, whereas this was more fun and flamboyant, and it was just on a stage type thing.
It's one of those impressions where you're not getting the voice right, but you've got the mannerisms down, so it doesn't matter about the voice. It's that kind of thing that I don't know. I believed he was Elton John by the end of it. You know,
Yes.
That was it.
I mean, I've got to give props to Taron Egerton. I mean, when he first starts singing and does the Saturday Night, I think Saturday Night's All Right is his first song, isn't it? When he comes on and starts singing, I thought, oh, this is going to be a problem, because I thought at first he sounded like an impersonator. But as the song song goes in, and then it kind of goes into a more sort of Bollywood riff about midway through, and it's sort of like everything gets rearranged, and you think, well, actually, it doesn't matter. It's not. It is a musical, proper old school musical at this point, and it's not about whether he sounds right or not. It's about whether or not the song carries across the message it's supposed to be putting across. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I'll say this: I didn't expect him to be any good. And do you know what? I think between this and Eddie the Eagle, which we also did as a biopic,
of course.
I was going to say, I have to say this guy's really gone beyond what I thought when I saw him in sort of like, you know, as Eggsy in fucking Kingsman. I just thought, he's just going to be one of these kind of pretty boys that just kind of appears and disappears. But he's fucking good in this. He really is.
I thought he sounded really good as well.
Yeah, he did. But the thing was, I mean, just because everyone keeps bringing up Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's just like...
I think you have to, though.
Yeah, but the problem was Bohemian Rhapsody, Rami Malek didn't sound like Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury sounded like Freddie Mercury in that film, with being dubbed over the bloody top. So, you know, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like you got that over there trying to be for, you know, absolute fidelity to the source, and then when it gets things wrong, fucking it up. Whereas over here with this one being more of a kind of big flamboyant musical thing, you just had to kind of buy into the fantasy element of it and just go, you know what? They're going to tell us the story. It might not be right, but you know, it is.
You'll get the gist of it.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, by the way? I don't know if you noticed this, and going on how Taron Egerton's, you know, his acting ability. It's the way at the beginning when he sits down and he goes from looking about, I don't know, 20, 30 to about 60 in the space of 2 seconds.
Yeah.
His eyes, I don't know what he did there, but he just looked old all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's just amazing transformation right before the eyes. It's just fucking hell.
Well,
he just looks tired, warm, beaten up, and everything.
Well, maybe that's probably the underlying theme throughout the whole thing. And anyone else want to step in on this one, you know, by all means do. But, you know, it's all about there's two people on that stage. There's Reg Dwight, who wants to be, you know, basically wants to be loved by his family. And then there's Elton John, which is the alter ego, which wants to be loved by everyone. And you see that in the Dodger Stadium sequence when he goes around and he does the pinball wizard thing, Tommy, and then it kind of spins around and he's kind of losing his mind, and then you see him step out into the stage in the Dodger Stadium thing, and he just goes from absolute grim-faced, miserable fuck to the instant he crosses the light line, goes out of the shadow, and he's like all skippity, you know, cheeky chappy. He's got a big old smile on his face, and he does it in the frame it takes him to cross that shadow, and it's like fucking hell. But it was just like that to me was the two characters inside Elton John, so to speak. You know, but anyway, sorry, I'm just going off on one, but I was super impressed. I was super impressed with that. Well, okay then. I mean, what about the actual Fantasia stuff? I mean, if this is supposed to be seen as a musical first and foremost, and a biopic kind of almost a distant second, how did you feel about that? I mean, did you feel like you got the story out of it? Did you feel like it was actually telling you a story, or was it just making a load of shit up just to string some songs together?
I don't think it was. I think it used the songs to tell the story. You know, it did it quite effectively. And the whole fantasy element, I mean, what you got to remember is Elton John was off his fucking knockers for most of his life anyway.
Yeah.
It's just this kind of, or for that, you know, as he was becoming more successful, and this kind of fits in with that whole using that to tell the story. You're traveling along that spaced out sort of way he used to live his life. I mean, he's literally taking drugs to stay upright at one point.
Yeah.
You know, to carry on, just to continue, he's taking drugs. It's got to a point where it's not just you know, something that he takes for pleasure. It's like, this is a necessity now. Otherwise, he just can't operate at all. That's how far it's gone. Yeah. And I'll tell you that as well, what you say about the fantasy element of it, I think that led to me, possibly the most touching bits in that, which was at the end. I mean, this has been building, and it was, I felt, you know, watching this was possibly some of the best bits, is where he's interacting with himself as a small child. And it's that you kind of, you know, everybody's got that inside them. You think it's that whole thing of thinking back to that time of innocence, you know, and it's that bit where he goes, "Aren't you going to hug me now?" And it's that is kind of, oh my God, is it dusty in this room? You know.
Okay, well, I mean, let's go to that. I mean, did anyone else feel the room getting dusty in these sequences? Because for me, I didn't. I'll say I enjoyed it, but I don't feel I ever felt upset or emotionally engaged with it. What about you guys?
Okay, for me, I had a couple of them moments, but I think it's more the actual songs. It was more the songs that were being played, and there are a couple of his songs where it's just, they're just so good. They are almost, they are timeless songs that will make men in 150 years and women in 160 years bawl their eyes out because they're just so moving and touching. And I had a couple of moments of, I can feel it in my throat. Not like that, no. But yeah, you know, when you get that little feeling, it just in your throat, and it's getting a bit tight, and you're like, I can feel it. Oh, I'm being harassed by the feelings here. So I had that, but not because of what I was seeing on screen. It was the actual songs doing that themselves.
So, could you feel the love tonight? Because it's a little bit funny, that feeling inside.
Oh, I don't want to go in with you like
that. Anyway, what about you, Jim?
I'm kind of the same boat as Elton, really. There was the bits I did think were touching, but it wasn't kind of as gut punching as some moments in other biopics. But I don't think it's necessarily going for that kind of thing. And a lot of the really big moments were kind of, well, like his suicide, it sort of worked through the lens of a musical number.
Yeah.
Which I think was a conscious decision to kind of not so much keep it light, but they weren't. Dexter Fletcher, he wasn't aiming for your heartstrings.
No.
To give him a good yank. He was more looking, to just to play them like a good fiddle.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean. It was about the music, and you get so much of the story's emotion through the music, and I think the way their picks of when to use certain songs, I thought was just inspired. I thought that was just a really, really good way to do it, rather than sort of being kind of tied to the, well, he hadn't written this yet, blah, 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 or he wrote this now, so we have to play this now. They sort of junked that, and you had a really good sort of mix of the music bleeding through the years and through his life. And it kind of just makes sort of connection, makes probably a lot of bogus connections of, the inspirations for the songs, because the lyrics were written by Bernie Taupin anyway.
Yeah.
But it worked really well. You know what I mean? I thought it was just very well chosen. And so just telling his own story through his own songs, I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, go on. Sorry, Elton.
Sorry, you're saying it's telling his story through his song. It's like, I thought about this as I was watching it. It's like Slumdog Millionaire.
Okay.
Where you kind of have the questions and then you see how he got to the answers. And that's what they use in his songs. It's like he's written these songs for that moment in time that happened before, and this is why you went along this path.
Right.
I'm not making sense, am I?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I was just going to see if you go any further with it. That's all.
No.
Yeah,
I just kept thinking of Slumdog Millionaire, where they have, you sit down and you go through all the ups and downs of his life as well. So
yeah. I mean, I haven't seen Slumdog Millionaire, so I can't compare. So I that's to my eternal shame. So I don't know, but I mean, for me, the story of his life being told through the songs, I enjoyed. I liked all that. I liked that a lot. I mean, I think, as Jim said, lots of the stuff was being breezily sort of played over with sort of musical numbers, so you weren't getting emotionally engaged in certain parts of it as well. I think that's probably the only thing I didn't get at all, the emotional engagement thing. I literally just sat there watching it, and I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. I take nothing away from that, but the sequences with his dad signing, getting him to sign the album, or his mum saying, oh, I've known all along, sort of thing, outside the Albert Hall. None of that stuff landed. I just kind of sat there and went, oh, right, okay. And I think that's because of the nature of the musical itself. That I sort of was sitting there kind of going, okay, well, it's a musical. Any minute now we're going to have a song and dance number and we'll all be back to normal. And the comparison with sort of Bohemian Rhapsody, the emotion from that came from the overall story, whereas it's leading right up to that sort of like Live Aid gig. Whereas this one, we hit the end, and there he is. There's Elton singing "I'm Still Standing," and you think, yeah, he is. Good on him. Well done. Did I feel better towards him or worse towards him, or feel like he's achieved something, or anything like that? No, I just felt like I'd watched a really good, fun musical with a few sort of ups and downs on the narrative. So I was a bit strange there, I think. I'm a bit different from everyone else there, but I was going to say one thing. What about the direction? I mean, Dexter Fletcher, right? Fucking he practically saved Bohemian Rhapsody, and this, I think, I thought was really cool, because there was a lot of bits, especially like the Pinball Wizard bit, the sequence where he's kind of falling down into drugs and he feels like everyone's judging him, and there's that kind of writhing sea of bodies kind of thing going on, and it felt very much like he was riffing on Tommy.
Yes, it was. I thought.
And it was stuff like that, like when in Tommy with the Tina Turner sequence, and Tommy going off his nut, and I thought some of that stuff was amazingly well done. I mean, just that whole musical number, because some of that stuff would have looked very stagey. Do you know what I mean? Like it was on a sort of straightforward sort of theatre stage, bring him on stage left, bring him on stage right.
I think there was one eye on maybe having it on stage.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, look at the Suicide.
Mm.
I know, look, it's impossible not to go back to Bohemian Rhapsody, but if that had kind of happened in that directorial style, it would have been really dark. It would have been really emotional, been gripping, and been like, "Oh my god, what the hell is going on?" Got far too dark for us. But this, it's made more of a light moment, and people reaching out, and a song going on all the way through it, the Rocketman song, and it's just made for the stage. It's silhouettes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just got one eye on this could be in the West End.
Yeah, theatrical kind of thing all the way through. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, and that kind of sums up John as a sort of on stage character, isn't it? It's that kind of flamboyance, that theatrical leaning kind of thing. You know, everything's kind of big and showy.
Yeah, I don't think he would have wanted anything a bit dreary or anything like that.
No. Okay then. I mean, so we know it's a musical. We know it's kind of a little unreliable, but then, you know, we've done it with every other biopic, so I don't see how this one needs to sort of be any different. But if you didn't know much about the man or didn't know much about his music, do you think you'd come away with a complete understanding of him? You know, like I said, you know, when we did Straight Out of Compton, and when we did Eddie the Eagle, and when we did, what was the other ones, the other biopics we did? My brain's
Laurel
gone.
and Hardy.
There was Laurel and Hardy, yeah. When we did these, you know, each time I've asked the question, you know, do you, at the end of the day, know this story? And the one thing I was going to say with this being unreliable, and being, you know, he's unreliable. He's in bloody rehab telling the story. So how much of it you know, how much of it's true? Do you come away from the film feeling like you know his story? Or do you come away feeling like you've been told a story? Whoever wants to go for that one.
I think definitely told a story. But, you know, it's kind of... I guess you're viewing it through a musical lens, and that's fine.
Yeah, I'm
having a look at the actual accuracy of it, and there's lots of nitpicky things of kind of, well, actually, he wrote that the year after it was shown, and kind of, oh, fuck off. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's not. It's neither here nor there, and you know, some people will say, oh, his dad wasn't that bad. Probably his dad's are the two sons.
Yeah.
Kind of, well, what a surprise! You know, water wet, sky blue. Yeah, I'm so shocked you might say that. You know what I mean? Kind of.
Yeah.
Things like that. You know. But it's not kind of like it doesn't commit the kind of the niggling crimes that Bohemian Rhapsody did of a completely fictitious conflict within the band that never happened.
Yeah.
Or with the James Hunt, Nicky Lauda story of missing out, you know, little crucial fact like they shared a flat together in the early days, you know, and things like you go,
that would have been.
I feel like I've been misled. Whereas this, you kind of, I think, you know, there's an awful lot you're not being told because it is taking an edited highlights kind of approach.
So is it better to have that approach than have an accuracy one, but then leaving things out for dramatic effect? I mean, as you say, like with the other one, Rush. I mean, you know, taking that as soon as you knew that bits had been taken out, like the fucking living together, like the fact that he didn't beat up the journalist, then you're suddenly going, well, hang on, if they're fucking about with it, what am I watching here? Whereas with this, because they're being deliberately upfront with, you know what, not all of this is going to be right or real. So, you know, over here is a totally different story. You'll get the flavour of his life, but not necessarily the accuracy. Do you think that's a better way to approach these kind of things then?
Well fiction's, you know, let's not be about it. Fiction is lying.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, that's what it is all about. And people, I think, increasingly are getting confused and moronic about what fiction should and shouldn't be, and it is kind of, it's all pretend, you know. You know what I mean? You can't tell someone's life story in 90 minutes. You can't tell someone's life story in 3 fucking weeks.
Yeah.
If you want to tell someone's life story, it takes, to tell it accurately, it'll take however many years they've been alive. You know what I mean? That's what we do. Fiction, we have to compress, we have to cut out. Now, I felt with this, in many ways, we say it's less accurate, it's more fantastical, but it does what good fiction does. Because good fiction, to me, is lies that end up telling the truth.
Yeah. That's nice. Good point. Okay. What about that's a very good point, actually. What about you, Dal? I mean, how did you feel about it, knowing that it was more of a fiction than a reality?
I think I got the gist of his motivations. If they, this is all entirely true. Like I say, he's quite honest about him as a person being difficult. He doesn't. They don't really try and butter that up. It's like, he's bought some stuff on himself. You can see how he gets to that point from, if the stories are to be, or if the film is to be believed, his relationship with his mother and his father. You can see why he's a bit fucked up. You can see why he wanted the attention, because he wasn't getting it. That's it. And the only one that did actually show him any kind of love and tolerance in his family was his grandmother. Yeah. It would have been nice to, I don't know, I think she was swept to the wayside. She was very important. She helped him get to where he was, with the getting into the college or the university, the music university, encouraging him that way. Yeah. It would have been, I think it would have been nice to have a little bit more of a emotional weight sort of heaped on her. Because I think she did get swept to the wayside.
Swept to the side of it, yeah.
Yeah. And she was somebody who was actually a good force in his life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I if it wanted to tell the story through bits and bobs, so that it did certain things so that you can understand why, then I think it did its job.
Yeah,
it did its job adequately enough.
Okay,
really do.
That's cool. I mean, like I say, it was just more just that's the thing with these kind of things. It's like, do you, as I've just said with Jim, is it better to be told a story, or realize that the story being, it isn't a story. It's it's just not told right. It's just
But it's. I mean, I really love what Jim said there about the fact that fiction is a bunch of lies that tell the truth. It's that. I think that is the point of this, the gist of this way of doing it. This, again, agreeing with Jim all the way about things like Rush and Bohemian Rhapsody, making shit up like that, presenting the false conflict within the band. Yeah. This, as far as I know, didn't do anything like that. But what it did was it bridged certain things together, sort of like just tore it, re-edited it and just shifted it together so you could see things come to fruition. Yeah. So, I mean, I haven't really studied Elton John's life that much, to tell you the truth.
No.
So
no.
I follow his music, and I've got to say, up until he started sounding like a broken guitar, that when his voice started going so curly on words that they almost turned upside down, Because you've heard his voice, right? The way it's going, wow, 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 wow. It sounds like that when he sings, right? I mean, did you? I mean, the fucking the crown was put on this, right? The cherry on the top of the cake with that. He did. What was it last year? He did a special one-off performance on Good Morning Britain. I think it was, or whatever the fuck it's called. This thing. He did a little tune from his mansion.
Yeah.
He dedicated a song to the the frontline workers.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking. I thought, what is that he's singing? I recognise the tune, but what lyrics are they? Because I can't understand a fucking word he said. So, there are a few singers like that. Eddie Vedder, right? Not Eddie Vedder.
Oh.
Eddie Vedder, actually.
Yeah, it is Eddie Vedder.
Yeah, Eddie Vedder. I've got a way you can actually do a good Eddie Vedder impression. You don't need to actually sing any lyrics apart from one. Right? Okay.
Sorry,
We go near from a derba Jeremy. Do that, right? Just sing Jeremy loudly at any one point. And it's
crispy.
There were a whole bunch of singers during the 90s who sounded like that, right? There was him. There was the bloke from Creed as well, who sounded like that. And it's like the bloke from Stained as well. I keep screaming, Jesse. But I don't think I've actually really cared about Elton John's musical output. I think the last one I even gave a slight shit about was Sacrifice by him. And that was like about, 25, 30 years ago?
It was like 91, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's, his voice has slowly gotten, as far as I'm concerned, worse over the years.
Well, I mean, not surprised. I mean, fucking hell, how old is he?
Yeah, but then you listen to someone like, right, we're talking somebody, a singer that's still got power, right, in their voice.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but Tom Jones can still hit it out of the park. Yeah, because he still can. He still sounds good for his age.
Well, he's looked after himself, though.
He has. And you look at people like Paul McCartney. Jesus Christ, don't even get me started on him. When he did that Royal, when he did the thing at Buckingham Palace, it was like, oh no. No, Paul, just stop now. Walk away, because many people will see this over the world and the illusion will be... Meatloaf, right? Meatloaf, from every time I've heard him sing live, he can't do it for toffee. His voice is shit, but when he goes in the studio, he's fine. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pro Tools.
Yeah, Pro Tools.
Yeah. That's it in a nutshell.
There you go. Right. Yeah. So it's not a case that every single person that is a singer, when they get older, not necessarily their voices go off the scale, and fucking fade away. There are plenty of older singers who can still sing, right? They might not be able to reach the notes that they once used to, but you can understand what they're singing. They don't know if they're struggling.
Yeah.
And now these days, Elton John's voice is just, no, it's too curly now. It's far too curly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Okay. Then this leads me to the next question. I mean, how much of the music did you know before this? I mean...
Oh, quite a bit.
Yeah?
Yeah. I recognised just about every single one of those songs.
Yeah?
Yeah. Like I say, I loved his stuff when he was earlier stuff. In his career, when he had that certain kind of vocal styling. Yeah, great.
Okay.
All that early stuff, fantastic.
Okay. What about you, Elton?
I recognised most of it, and I think some of it was when it gets to a chorus. It's like Benny and the Jets when they were doing that one. And it's building up. You're like, I recognise this.
Yeah.
And then it gets into the Benny, and you're like, oh yeah, I know where I am. I know exactly where I am.
And what about Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza? Did you like that one? Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza. I think I saw a video of a band doing a cover version from that, and they sang Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza, and Tony Danza actually walked on stage with them. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's an old joke for people who don't, who used to follow. You were old enough to remember things like Taxi and Who's the Boss.
Yeah, indeed. Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza.
Yeah. Anyway, right. I mean, Elton, just to finish off that question about the fidelity to the source as opposed to just being told a story. What do you think?
I agree with what you said, Jim, about we're being told a story, because I think we are more likely to go along with it. If you're going for screen accuracy, then you're going to hold it closer to what you've read, and then you're going to dive in on it and go, well, actually, this isn't quite right, is it? And then everything's going to start falling down. If you go in and, like you said, with the Saturday Night Fighting song, I forget what it's called, but at one moment you have the little kid singing, and then all of a sudden he's a teenager and building up, and the family singing that song at the very beginning as well, where the father and the mother and the grandmother, and he's singing it on the stairs. You're more forgiving of, okay, they're doing this with his songs. The rest of the story, I forgive it for tinkering and going off in different directions and not getting things right, because they're not doing the songs verbatim.
No,
which I quite like. I really like, and I know of Elton John. Weirdly enough, he's kind of always been there in the periphery, because every time I go into school, oh, you called Elton, are you? Oh, after Elton John, and I've had that every single year. It
Really?
just all the time, and even now as well. I get it now, but. I don't kill people anymore because of that. But it's, I think it's more forgiving of if you're not going to hold it too close to the source material, and you go off immediately, and you show that you're going off immediately. You're showing you're working out of, we are doing this. Yeah. We know this is the story, but we're doing this in this style. Then you kind of sit back and go, okay, show me what you got. And that's what we do with this.
Yeah. Cool. Okie dokie. Bro, I'll be honest with you. I'm struggling to think of things to discuss with this film, because I mean, I will be honest with you. I had with the story the same thing. That once it kind of proved he was an unreliable narrator, and we were in full musical mode. Like I say, going into full La La Land, Grease, singing in the rain, Wizard of Oz, everything. I was just like, well, I'm not gonna bother looking up whether or not this is real or not, because chances are some of it is, some of it isn't. But that the core of it is the same story as most biopics, which is drugs, abuse, success, and then being fucked over, the downfall and the comeback. And I once that happened, I was just along for the ride, just kind of like, okay, it is what it is, so I'm just gonna sit here and watch it and enjoy it. And I think that's the problem with a film like this. You can't really, it's almost critic proof, because you're sitting there kind of going, well, I can't criticize it for its fidelity to the source, because we don't really know. And even if we did, we've got Elton John basically floating in space at the fucking Troubadour.
Oh, the first man to ever levitate in front of a live studio audience,
and then levitate his entire audience as well while he sings Crocodile Rock.
That was good.
No wonder they were sort of like so surprised.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great sequence. I mean, that was another one of those sequences where you kind of like the thing takes the sort of musical conceit of kind of, oh yeah, look, the music was so good they literally was like 2 inches off the floor, and it's like, and then all of a sudden the music kicks in, and it goes la, and it comes down, and everyone comes down in a bang, and it was just like, wow, I just sat there with a big grin on my face half the time, just going, yeah, fine, you know what, go with it. I've got nothing more to do than just admire the direction, admire the visual flair, and admire every actor on this stage, because on the set, because
I thought they were all great.
Yeah. I thought they were.
Jamie Bell was really, really good. I've seen him in a few other things, and he never puts in a bad performance. No. Rob Stark as well. It's always nice to see Rob Stark rock up.
Yep. Though, Rob Stark took a turn, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that took a turn. that went from naught to unexpected quite quickly. But
poor boy.
Yes, exactly. Poor boy. Oh, hello, Mum. So yeah, but no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought all the actors were good in this. All the acting was good. The direction, like I say, if you had told me Dexter Fletcher was going to come from fucking Press Gang or whatever the fuck he did, and become like a super solid fucking musical director, because I mean, let's be honest, he's been very good at that. He did rescue Bohemian Rhapsody. I would have just said, "Oh, fuck off, you're taking the piss," but nope, very good, very good.
He's proper solid.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I was going to say, so unless, I've unfortunately got nothing else to add apart from I thought it was fantastic. So, has anyone got anything else? Anything else they want to bring up, or shall we move on?
No. Okay. There are a couple of moments that I really, really enjoyed.
Okay, yep, good.
The suicide I thought was done beautifully, or the attempted suicide was done beautifully, with the dropping into the water and then seeing his childlike self at the very bottom. Number one, very creepy in a different atmosphere. Number two, done amazingly.
Yeah,
especially when they pull him out and you got people pushing past, and then they do the silhouette thing and stuff like that. Also, when he's going into rehab and he's got the frills and the amazing costumes that he's got on, and he's walking down the corridor and you see the little bits just dropping away. It's like, so good. It's like little tatters of his life just falling on the floor, leaving them behind him, ready for the next transition.
Yeah.
But it's little things like that look brilliant. But then when you have like Jamie Bell and Taron Egerton talking to each other in a corridor as Elton John is mopping the floors, it's just a beautiful moment as well.
Yeah.
And so you can go from the high ferocity of flamboyancy all over the place down to mopping the floor, and it doesn't change how I feel about the film whatsoever. No. I think everyone just did a bang out job on this.
Yeah. I mean, actually, now you're talking about it, I have to say the one musical that we haven't brought up, that occasionally at times, I mean, we mentioned Tommy, but there was one or two, and I don't know if anyone else has seen this, because this is a bit out there, but there was a couple of moments where I felt it was like The Wall.
I've not actually seen The Wall myself.
You've not actually seen it?
No. I've seen bits of it. And I kind of get what you mean.
It's got that sort of surreal edge where it's kind of you feel like it's telling a story about someone, but not necessarily the person we're looking at on the screen. And then it kind of goes off. It goes off a bit mental, to be honest. It's a bit more mental than Rocketman, I'll be honest. But has anyone else seen it? The Wall?
Yes, yeah. And I see what you mean, actually. Yeah.
It's got that kind of weird, there's kind of a weird surreal vibe kind of running through it. Again, going back to that whole sequence when Elton finally sort of hits rock bottom with the drugs and the sex and everything else. And he just and it goes into that sort of Dante's hell thing of being judged by people all in their leather gear, and all these people are writhing around on the floor, and he's being carried around to hospitals while John Reed's kind of going, oh yeah, I know he had a heart attack, whatever, we'll get him back on stage for 5 more performances next week,
Just rinsing that cow.
Yeah, and that had a feeling of that's the second half of The Wall, that whole thing of Mama, the Mama and another brick in the wall and Comfortably Numb, and it had that kind of that whole vibe of that sequence. So yeah, it just when I think about it like that, I sort of think, well, very similar. I shouldn't really be expecting fidelity from the story, really, should I? It's gone utterly surreal in places. Yeah. So, any other sequences? Any other bits? Anyone wants to mention before we move on?
No.
Nah. Okie dokie. Well, despite this, I will say, the lack of discussion elements, and that's all on me. I'll say that now. But I will say that this film, if you haven't seen it, ladies and gentlemen out there, if you haven't seen it, check it out, because it is definitely one of those films where you'll have a good time watching it. Just don't watch it with your mother, all right? Because there's a few sequences in there where you'll be like, "Oh, Mum, do you want to go get us a cup of tea while I'm watching this?"
Weirdly, the first time I watched it was with my mum in the room. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Beautiful.
Wow, lovely. That's yeah. I bet that was awkward.
Nah, it's all right. It's fine.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. Well. Right then. Well, I guess we shall move on. If anybody has anything they would like to add, anything we think we've missed, anything else you want to chuck into the discussion about Rocketman, then by all means do so. Go over to the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/The Black Dog Podcast, or send us some feedback into the email, which is feedback@blackdogpodcast.com, or of course hit us up on Twitter, which is @BlackDogPodcast. So, we shall move on then. That was Rocketman. It is on Netflix, not Amazon. Darren?
Yeah, cheers for that, mate.
No worries.
All the best. Cheers.
Someone sent me a text message quite late in the evening last night going, I can't find it. It's gone on to pay. And I'm like, it's on that Netflix. I'm watching it right now. Is it? Why am I looking at Prime then? You belloc. Sorry, mate. I had to do that. That was funny.
No, you didn't. But
yes, I did.
Just carry on anyway.
I did. I had to do it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. There you go. Done. Doing it. But apart from that, it's now over to Jim for his turn, for his movie. So, Jim, what have you got for us this week?
Well, as it was May the 4th, I thought perhaps we should do a Star Wars rip-off.
Oh, good Lord.
Okay.
And in particular, there's a film that Darren's often threatened to pick, The Humanoid.
Oh my God.
However, luckily for everybody, it's gone to pay on Prime. So I binned that idea completely.
Thank fuck for that.
I think it's on YouTube.
No, it's not, Darren. We're not watching YouTube. No.
So instead, I thought I'd pick a film I've been meaning to get round to seeing and not. And I thought, well, let's go for something. It's from 2014. Or is it?
Okay.
And it is A History of Time Travel.
A History of Time Travel?
Yes. It is a mockumentary about an alternative world where time travel was invented.
Okay.
It's on Amazon Prime. And got good reviews. So I thought, that sounds... I think it's been a while since we've had something very, really twisty, turny...
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah. A History of Time Travel, eh?
I was intrigued by the So the mockumentary element of it as well. Kind of.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, History of Time Travel on Prime Video, 2014.
Okie dokie, there you go. Would we even notice a fictional documentary about the creation of the world's first time machine, the men who created it, and the unintended ramifications on world events? Okay, there you go. I'm intrigued straight away. I'm looking. I'm intrigued. I'm not going to look at any of the trivia or anything like that, because if I do, I'm sure it'll give away spoilers. So I'm going to just leave that there. Okay, well then, the history of time travel on Amazon Prime. So that's going to be interesting then. Well, thank you very much for that, Jim. So, join us next week for a history of time travel. Before we go, let's find out what's happening over at Hypnagoria Land. Jim.
I've just dropped an episode on a 1980s kids anthology called The Gruesome Book, which probably lived up to its title.
Right.
And on my reading show from the Great Library of Dreams, you can hear a reading of one of the stories in that book. Rather good, Graveyard Rats, which is my all-time favourite short stories.
Nice.
On Commentary Club, we just dropped an episode end of last week on Ghostbusters.
Nice.
And be another one this week on the grand finale, the last episode of Blackadder II, Chains.
Nice. Lovely. Cool. By the way, some people may have noticed that I didn't ask anyone if they'd seen History of Time Travel. I think that's because by our shocked responses, I suspect that none of us have. just to cover the format. But just to double check, Darren, have you seen this film?
Nope.
No, there you go. Elton?
For the record, no, I haven't.
There you go. And Jim's already confessed he hasn't seen it, so yeah, me neither. So there you go. Cool. So, sorry, just gotta stick to the format. So, Elton, what about you, sir? What's going on with Rogue 2?
What am I doing? It's just Formula 1 at the moment, I'm afraid. I will get around to doing Shonky Lab. It's just the time that I have to do Shonky Lab is being taken up by me taking shit out of pipes. There we go.
And that will, ironically, be the first episode.
It probably will be, yes. Oh.
Drain and poo problems on Shonky Lab.
Congestion.
yeah, different kind of congestion charge, to be honest. But there you go.
This generation has constipation.
When it pressure. Pass the route upon the left-hand side. You say, pass the route upon the left-hand side. Anyway.
Maybe I'll do my medical episode that I've been promising to do for many, many years.
Oh, yeah? Do you know anyone who's got any medical history?
No, but just make up as go along.
Brilliant. Medical ailments from the movies.
Take 2 of these and see how you are in the morning.
Nice. Good work. All right, then. Darren, are you on any podcasts or anything at the moment?
Not at all.
Ah, okay.
None whatsoever. Nobody wants me.
Nobody wants you. Cool.
Nobody wants me.
Okay, you're only a guest appearance on this one, to be honest. I'm going to cut you out.
Yeah. I'm not even. Yeah, I'm on the cutting room floor for this.
Yeah, you're on the cutting room floor for this one. Right, okay. And as far as I'm concerned, you're listening to everything I'm doing right now. So, yes, join me over in the Facebook group. Again, if you've got anyone wants to add anything to the Black Dog playlist, join us on that bit. It's up and pinned at the top of the group. Of course, you will then suddenly get notifications up the wazoo as every single person posts. But, it's music. Listen to it. Take some time, enjoy. And, yeah, that's that. And also the playlist is still being updated by Jack Woodgate over on Spotify as well. So look for Black Dog Podcast over on Spotify. And it's the only bit that is us, because our podcast keeps getting taken down because of musical rights issues. So there you go. So we're not on Spotify at the moment. There you go. So that's it then. Until next week, thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
And we shall see you all next week for A History of Time Travel on Amazon Prime. Until then, stay safe, Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you all next time. Till then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me. Down the road, it's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.